Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Climb, the Confident Leader podcast, where we share stories of leaders moving from invisible to becoming an influencer. I'm your host, Rahul Karan Sharma, and today I have a friend who has joined me, is an author, a recipient of the Speak Life Community Award, and host of multiple podcasts on the Clear Journey Podcast Network. His experience gave him the lessons and tools to launch Clear Journey. Unfortunately, he lost his mother at 6 and he struggled with school and direction. But after high school, he joined the United States Air Force. Thank you for your service, my friend. Searching for purpose. At 37, he was diagnosed with a learning disability, and suddenly life made sense. He learned that success requires the right mindset, grounded in the values of sacrificing, humility, discipline, courage, service, and above all, love. In 2020, he founded Clear Journey and published Love Made Simple, a guide to inner peace, contentment, and success, dedicated to guiding others towards personal fulfillment. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Yuan Lee to our show. Welcome, Yuan, to our show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I really appreciate you having me. Thank you very, very much.
That's awesome. We are equally fortunate to hear from you, to learn from you, and get inspired to make things happen in our life. And we are very anxious to hear your journey. Your bio speaks a whole lot about what you have gone through and how you have come up to a level where you are. But we want to know those behind the scenes things which was not mentioned in the bio. So, Yuan, please share your journey, your leadership journey with our audience.
Well, hey, I guess I will start with a 17-year-old graduating from high school, not feeling prepared and feeling like I was lost without hope,
Mhm.
um, and did not know, have any directions, didn't know where I was going, how I was going to get there. Because here's the thing, I was realizing that I was unprepared for life.
Mm.
It was like as though I did not measure up to what was expected of me. And all of a sudden, I was thrust into this thing called life,
Mhm.
on my own, so to speak. And I say that in the sense of, I went through education and special education, and it was almost as though it was like a massaging and it was like everything was handed to you. And I was like, that's not like it's going to be out there. That's not
Mhm.
life. That's not how
Mhm.
it's going to work. And I was really, to be honest with you, was afraid to
Mhm.
go out there. Didn't know where I was going to go. Didn't have any directions. And it was in the military, and even the military. To be honest with you, it was literally I was amazed that I was even able and qualified to get into the military. Now that's a whole story within itself.
Mhm.
But that was something that I had no idea was going to change the directory or the direction of my life. It literally gave me a perspective, a visual of what life could be. And I don't mean it in the sense of the mechanics of what the military's mission is,
Mhm.
but it's about how they operate, how the military operated very systematically. It was
Mhm.
very systematically and organized to render a specific outcome. That was no matter who was doing it, you were going to be able to get the same results time after time again.
Mm.
And so it was imperative to understand the system more so than it was then trying to make something out of something that I didn't know. It
Mm.
was like I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I had to offer, but the system had certain things that it required.
Mm.
And so as I began to build up into what the requirements were in the system, I began to feel comfortable and confident in who I was because here it is. It was about something that was necessary, something that was important. and something that was sufficient.
Mm.
I have realized that when you get into the system, when you fall into this system,
Mm.
you automatically become necessary, you become important,
Mm.
and you show yourself to be have what was essential or what is essential to being able to fulfill the mission.
Mm.
The
Wow.
mission was that which was in most important. And see, we think about the military as in a negative sense, but when you begin to think about it, the systems that they put in place, and then begin to understand the value and the reasoning behind those systems, man, it gives you some idea as relates to what it is about life that repeats itself.
Mhm.
It duplicates itself over and over again. It just only thing that changes is the participants.
Mhm. Yeah.
Life's the same.
Sure. Sure.
Participants are what changes.
Yep.
And so I began to see a similarity between the system of life and the system that's in the military.
Mm. And I
And
think,
I be Go ahead.
sorry, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, and I began to look at that on the basis of what I was growing up in. And I grew up as a Christian, as a religious person in the church. And I've been hearing about this love that never failed.
Mm.
Love that never failed. What doesn't fail?
Mm.
Systems are meant to repeat themselves over and over and over again, rendering the same results. And that's what this love never failed represented.
Mm. Wow.
What is it about this thing called love that never fails?
Well, I think great analogy that you are bringing up with the systems of military and the love. And I think when you were sharing about the military process, it's what we call in the corporate world as the operational excellence. No matter who the person is, if the operations, the processes are right, if the processes are well documented, well written, they will get results, same result every single time. And and I think that's all depends on us as individuals. It is not about how you are doing it. The process, the systems makes you do and give your best. And it is not about the technique. It is not about and the way I learned it is not about the technique. It's not about what's good in paper. It's all here. It's all about the mindset. It is the mindset that dictates the win or lose in a game, in a war, or in any situation. So thank you, Yuan, for sharing that.
It's so necessary because that's the part right there is when you get that love mindset in yourself that knows that you then begin to create something uniquely in you that fits that system,
Mm.
that's unique, that makes you unique, but also makes the system that much better because of your part in it, your uniqueness. We're in a very a different place in the sense that I bring something uniquely different to the system that makes the system that much better.
Yep, yep. And I when I was doing my research, Yuan, your book, Your Love Made Simple, it offers some actionable steps for personal growth using love as a tool. And this was very unique for me because I have never seen people using love as a tool. Whenever you hear about tool, that love is not even in contention. I mean, you don't even think about it, and you have used it very well. So, can you please share a very specific practice or a mindset from your book that our listeners can start applying today to build their confidence?
Let's see it. The one of the very interesting, fundamentals to love is sacrifice.
Mm.
To understand the value of sacrifice. Basically, sacrifice is saying, I'm going to sacrifice something today for some long term benefits for tomorrow. I'm going to invest today so that the return will come in tomorrow.
Mm.
That mindset begins to show you the concept of sowing and reaping.
Mm.
It's sort of like it's natural in the sense of our the way that we sow into our vegetables and things like that. We sow, we sacrifice the seed for the harvest. These are the things that when we can mentally understand the value of sacrifice, what we're going to put in, that the harvest is going to be greater than our sacrifice.
Mm.
That transforms your vision and it becomes bigger than the moment, because the moment is when you're investing in the moment, but you understand the how the system works is that it requires an investment. It requires, you got to put the investment in,
Mm.
and as a result of that investment you'll render the harvest. The benefits will come. We're struggling in our society right now because of this. We have an entitlement type of thing where there's no investment. It's just expected to get it.
Mm.
No, it comes. See, this harvesting, this planting and harvesting is been in existence forever.
Mm.
And this is no different. Love is a mindset of sacrifice. And it's in every area of our lives, no matter what it is. If we put the work in, work is
Mm.
sacrifice. We talk about a paycheck. We sacrifice, we work to get that paycheck, the harvest. It's in every aspect of our lives. We can realize it. And when we begin to look at it, everything that we look at, we can see value in
Mm.
sacrifice.
Yeah. And I think sacrifice also happens to be one of the unique skill or a trade when it comes to leadership. Most of us, specifically the aspiring leaders, we when we focus on becoming a leader, many focus on getting that corner office. Many focus on the perks associated with being a leader or having a title of a leader. Very few of us really know that it demands sacrifice of your time, sacrifice of your own personal interest over your people's interest, over your team's interest, over your organization interests. So I'm very much excited to see or hear the way you have built up this love as a mindset and the sacrifice being the fundamental. And I also learned, Yuan, that your book is highly praised for its insights across life stages. Whether you are a teen or a young adult or an adult or a senior, it is impacting every walks of life. So, how does the role of love builds confidence even when we are evolving through the seasons of life?
Well, see, it's very interesting. In my book, I break it down at the end of each chapter. I
Hmm.
give an example of how each of these particular attitudes or principles or tools of life can be significant in each stage of your life. And
Hmm.
the reason being is because the way we transition, we go through life, it's sort of like just like grade school.
Hmm.
We need to have the fundamentals so that we can get some of the advanced learning. And that's what every stage of life has a fulfillment. And as a teenager, you're going to be, it's going to be like you're trying to be a sponge. You're just gravitating to everything, opening yourself up to whatever is being presented to you. So you've got to be one that's be willing to be open to
Mm.
be able to receive and begin to be able to digest all of the newness of things that are happening. And the reason being is because as you transition into, and that's your fulfillment, is to be open.
Mm.
Then as a young adult, you then begin to understand how to use some of the information that you have learned and how to apply it, how to implement it. And that's where you begin to get reasoning, and you begin to understand the value of what you've learned.
Mm.
And then in the adult stage is when you're actually implementing it at your highest degree. You're really beginning you've understood it, you understand the systems, to be able to actualize all of the things that you have been fulfilled in as a teenager, as a young adult, and you begin to invest all of that insight now into being able to reach your fulfillment, that maximum area in your life that really shows who you are and that value that you bring. And then as a senior, you're able to invest all that you've learned back into all of those younger generations, those younger stages, so
Mm,
as to be an assistance for them as they navigating this thing that you've already gone through. And to have value to the younger generations, to have value to the teens, the young adults and the adults, and that having that ideal, that oversight as relates to that journey that they're on. So I was intended to show that love is not something that's for any selective few, but it's
mhm,
for us all at every stage of life. That when we're able to maximize what it is that we've experienced,
mhm.
we begin to now share it. We're
Sure.
connected. And that's something that I think is a challenge that we have, is our generational connection.
Mhm.
So we really have to see value in the young people, and the young people have to see value in the older people, because we need each other.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. As you were explaining the role of love throughout the stages, I was thinking about my two young kids, 11 and 13, 11-year-old son and 13-year-old daughter. So same parents, same household, but the way my daughter is seeking love from me and my wife is very, very different than my son. And well, the way I am seeing it is, as a young female, they or she is able to gain confidence in her when she is not having a good day. A hug for her, a physical touch for her, that presence, that okay, we are always there, is really building that self belief, building that self confidence in her.
Mhm.
Whereas for my son, he's very carefree. For him, the taking of love is very, very different. So as as we are growing, there is no one size fit all. You really need to see what kind of love, how, what she, and how you need to secrete that love, how you need to show that love, how you need to shower that love is so important. And one thing that we are doing, even as a parent, we both have taken that 30 minutes time when they come home from school, dedicated to them, just focused on them. In whether they need it or not, that's a different story. But we consciously make an effort not to schedule our business calls or not to schedule any meeting for that, at least the 30-minute. And that is the time probably they need us. Whether they need us, they don't need us, that's a different story. But we feel very privileged to spend that time, to give them that importance, that hey, we have been waiting for you for an entire day, you are still welcome. Otherwise what will happen is they may feel that hey, man, no one cares whether I reach home at 3:30 or I reach home at 6:30. No one cares, no one is waiting for me. So I really admire the way you have categorized that love piece for all the ages.
I think what you really pressed on, and I want to just, if I can,
Mhm.
impress upon you the significance of parenting in that teen stage,
Mm,
because that is essential for them to be able to reach that fulfillment in that stage. Because it's that ability for them to be open, but it's essential for parenting to be able to reach in and identify how they need to receive that love, as you
mm,
said there. And that's very important. In the book, I have a chapter about the family, and the family is essential to the development process as you matriculate through this thing called life. It's important. And for you and your wife to spend that time, dedicate that time,
mm,
because it's fulfillment that you're looking for that child to gain in that space, and that confidence that
mhm.
they can now be ready to move into that young adult stage.
Sure.
And that's something that as a parent, you get the opportunity to visualize and to see, because again, you've been through that young adult stage. You know what it requires to enter into that young adult stage, and you've been able to help the child navigate that preteen or that teen stage so that they can have what is necessary to move into that young adult stage.
Mhm.
Very, very critical.
Yes, thank you, thank you for acknowledging that. And I also notice, Yuan, you often say that don't wait to join humanity. Now, explain to our audience, how does aligning with a greater purpose, being part of humanity, give someone confidence? Enlighten us.
It's amazing because, see, that was the bigger thing that I learned in the military. See, the military's mission is bigger than any one person.
Hmm.
But for you to be able to align with that vision, you have to have something to give to offer it. So as it relates to that, as it relates to the mission, is would be conceived as it relates to humanity. Humanity is the bigger mission
Mm,
for each and every one of us. What do we do? What does love allow us to do? Is that it protects and preserves humanity
mm,
from generation to generation. No matter where you are in this world, you can relate to the fact that you have a part to play in the existence of humanity going forward.
mm,
And for you to understand that the tools that love presents is like, what are we doing that will enhance or preserve and protect humanity into the future?
mm,
What can I sacrifice? What can I invest into the present that benefits the future,
mm,
humanity? That's what we are about. And that's what being a part of knowing that humanity is that bigger thing.
mm,
It gives us a direction, it gives us guidance in our day to day decision making,
mm,
our day to day decision making, because we're attaching ourselves to something bigger than ourselves. And even as we look back into my military experience, it didn't matter what role you played, it was connected to the bigger vision,
mm.
the mission.
Mission. Wow.
And that was what you've come to realize, that love is that utility, that tool that allows us to align ourselves with that bigger vision to protect and preserve humanity
Mm.
from generation to generation.
Wow. Well, I think the point that is coming to my mind as you were talking about humanity, know that you are here for a bigger purpose. It's not to live paycheck to paycheck. It's not to just feed the family or just enjoy life. God has sent you for a bigger purpose. And your life is very, very important. And I see people losing life for very petty reason. If you see our statistics, there is very, very high when it comes to people taking their life. It's very saddening, and it is relates to all the mental health challenge that people are facing today, and they are not getting the time, they are not getting the love that they need from the community, from the family. So know that you are here for a bigger purpose, and I have also notice that a lot of people, they lose confidence because of the fear, the low self-esteem. So in your experience, how you have used love to answer fear, and what would be your advice to our listeners who are trying to overcome that imposter syndrome, that the self-doubt right now?
That's very interesting because one of the bigger things that I had as a young person is I didn't have any self esteem, had low self esteem. And I tell you, the biggest accomplishment that love allowed me to do was to face it. You have to be able to face the fear. Fear is basically something that you have to confront
Mm,
because it is there to bring you awareness of something that you need to confront.
mm,
And when you're able to confront it, it's amazing that your liberty is on the other side of it.
mm,
Your ability to overcome it is in confronting it so that you can move on to your greater and better things. Um, so as it pertains to that, one of my greater fears was the unknown. It was the unknown. And to understand, for instance, there's so many of them, but I think the unknown can fall under this category too, is about death. When you don't when you fear death or fear something as an unknown, it takes power over you. And what you have to do is to understand what it's intended to do. And like looking at death, death is a part of this experience called life. And I speak on when I talk about the tool of love being able to navigate this thing called life, it's from birth to death.
Mm,
How do you put your head around the fact that death is a part of life? Is to understand that life is only temporary.
mm,
It's not short, it's temporary. Shortness has a tendency to think that you can extend it, but temporary doesn't lead your mind to think other than it's just temporary.
mm,
There is no the amount, it could be 2 weeks, a year, 20 years, 100 years, but as it pertains to humanity, it's temporary.
mm,
So then the biggest thing is I'm saying is that we have to understand and take whatever it is that we're fearing and look at it from different perspectives.
mm,
When we begin to see its value and what it's intended for, a lot of people don't see death having any value. It does though. It brings value in the sense that it brings something to completion so as to it be put into place as to its value forever.
mm.
It identifies its value forever.
Uh,
And see, we have to see that and understand that now I get to position myself into forever with value.
mm,
And so that's what I'm saying. So for us fears, try to position yourself in a way in which you can see value in that situation and you'll overcome it.
So, folks, if you are having that self doubt moment, if you are feeling low, the answer is not in hiding from it, not in running away from it, but confronting with your fear. The answer is confronting with your fear. That will give you that courage, that will tell you, and oh my God, that fear was imaginary. It was never a real fear. It was just in my mind. And it will give you insights on how to face when you are facing the similar fear next time. So,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
insight, Yuan. And before we move to our rapid fire round, the final segment of the show, Yuan, we want to know more about your thought process, your vision behind this clear journey, the mission that you are after, and how our listeners can join and can be part of that mission. Share with us.
Okay. Clear journey is the practical application of love.
Mm,
The book Love Made Simple, the Guide to Inner Peace, Contentment, and Success is the foundation of what Clear Journey is all about. What we do is that we try to infuse the love mindset into our daily activities, the way in which we live life with a mindset of being able to, again, as we talk about understanding that we're trying to protect and preserve humanity. How
mm,
can I do this in my daily operation and also it benefit me and everyone around me? And
mm,
so we have four particular areas that we talk about. And we talk about finances, we talk about health and wellness, we talk about relationships, and then we talk about overall self improvement. And
mm,
so what we do is we bring on, especially onto our website or onto our podcast, which is called It's Life. We bring on experts in all of those areas and we align an attitude that's necessary for you to be able to navigate that particular expertise or that particular area of life.
mm,
And so we bring those onto our programs and they're available on our website for people to access those experts that can help them navigate those particular areas of life. But knowing it's with the right mindset, because what we want to do is we don't want people to hear the information, but not know how to apply the information with
mm.
something, want to connect it to something bigger that will last and help them navigate life on into the future. So that's what we're doing. We do that with our podcast. And then we have another podcast that's called The Philosophy of Love, where it talks about the science behind love.
Mm,
And that's really a good opportunity for you to understand how do you make this transition from a concept into a practical application of what love is. I mean, we know that love is an emotion and it's a feeling, but it's also love. It's an action word. It's an adjective. It's a love. How can I demonstrate it through my actions?
mm.
And
Wow.
that's what Clear Journey is all about.
Awesome. I think you are already way ahead with when it comes to humanity, what you're doing for community. There are no words to say thank you, to show the gratitude for what you are doing, Yuan. I'm very confident that we will, our listeners, once they are done with listening to our episode, they will log into your website and try to see and try to connect with your experts, with your mission, because it's one uh, thing at a time, one person at a time, one drop of water at a time that's built the ocean. So thank you.
Everybody is welcome.
Mhm.
Everybody is welcome. And look, this is not something. Look, this is bigger than I.
Mhm.
Okay, This is us. This is not me. So if you have something that you want to offer and add, I'm here. We're here to make a difference.
Mm, absolutely. All right. So we will include all the relevant information to connect with Yuan and the clear journey and the show notes. Uh, Take a look at it. And now we are moving to a rapid fire round. 5 questions coming your way, my friend. Uh,
Got it.
and let's see what you have to say. The first one, a quotation you live by.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's my motto as
Mm.
it relates to keeping me confident in everything.
Mm, very good. What's one daily routine you never skip, no matter how hectic your day has been?
It's amazing because it's been a different thing over the years. But what has always been constant, and this is very interesting because it's something that I learned in the military, was is making my bed.
Mm,
You don't understand the significance of starting your day out with a mindset of accomplishment. And it's as simple as making up your bed
wow.
because it really gets you. Because it's amazing when you come home after the end of the day and you go like, dog, look at that. That was the day that's how I started my day. And most of us look at that and they pass it over
Mm,
as not having any value. But is the one thing that I remember back in when I was in the military, that was the first thing that you did when you got out of the bed. And what it did was it set yourself as an accomplishment,
mm,
which is
wow.
important for you to do. And when you ask that question, that's what that question really alludes to is what is it the thing that you can't do without? Because you can't do without setting your day's schedule with an accomplishment.
Mm, nice. Very good. Um, what's one leadership skill you wish someone had taught you earlier?
Probably that you can't do it on your own.
Mm,
You can't do it on your own. I think that's a misconception that no matter what part of life you're in, that you feel that you have to do it alone. And leaders understand that if they're going to grow and if they're going to lead successfully, they've got to be able to delegate. They've got to be able to give some of their leadership or power, so to speak, away to others so
mm,
that they can take it and maximize it in a way in which you yourself could have never done it.
mm.
So yeah, that you need help, that you can't do it
Good.
alone.
Ask for help, not to look weak, but to become stronger.
Hmm.
Pretty good. All right. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Absolutely morning.
Okay. Okay. The last one coming for you. If your career were a Netflix series, Yuan, what would be the title of season one be?
How to win in life.
How to win in life. All right, my friend. The time quickly passed, and I'm sure your wisdom you shared would be very much appreciated by our listeners. Listeners, if you are listening to us on Spotify or watching us on YouTube, this is the time for you to mention your one takeaway from the show, your one aspect that really resonated with you. And do not forget to like, subscribe our channel. Do not forget to share this episode with someone who really need. Now, this is the time I will share my learnings. So there has been many golden nuggets that were dropped by Yuan throughout our episode. I will share three. The first one is the fundamental of love is sacrifice. If you sacrifice, that's what gonna get you to the place where you really want to be. Invest in yourself today without thinking about the returns. Returns will come to you tomorrow, but do not think about returns first. Just focus on doing, focus on investing in yourself, investing in others, investing in your loved ones. The number two was uh, don't wait to join the community. It has a bigger purpose. It is bigger than you, bigger than your life. So try to support the cause. Try to learn that God has sent you for a bigger purpose. Sooner you join that purpose, sooner you join that humanity effort, it will be better for you and your loved ones. And finally, it's around the fear. If you are facing that imposter syndrome or the self doubt because of the fear, the answer is not in thinking about the fear. The answer lies in facing that fear head on. Overcoming that fear is in doing it, dealing with it, because you never know that fear would be imaginary. That fear is just trying to hold you back. And next time when you face the similar fear, you now know the answer, how to handle it. With that said, we are now coming to the end of our show. Yuan, once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And thank you for the cause that you are doing, the part of the humanity, the love, how you are showing or sharing the importance of love, which is very much needed. So thank you once again and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you for having me.
Mhm.